Hello guys, or hello class. It's Sir Capistrana again, and we're here for another Month 1 Statistics lecture, wherein our lecture is entitled Measures of Central Tendency. So this is one of the most important, or the most, actually not just important, is the most utilized measure in statistics. So in here class, based on our progress regarding our understanding of statistics, this part of the statistics falls under the organization and the analysis of large quantities of data based on our definition of statistics. So, by measure of central tendency, we will actually be looking into the location of the center of our distribution. By center of distribution, if we have a large array of data, or what we call data array, we'll be looking into the trend in which our data behaves towards the center. Or by central tendency, it is the trend of the data to behave at the center of the distribution. So as you may have remembered, just like our discussion in construction of histograms, as you can see there, uh, the data or the frequencies of specific classes actually behaves toward a certain peak or a certain point or a certain maxima, and that maxima actually, we will be looking into it by simply analyzing whether the computed mean or the computed measure of central tendency is actually related or equal to that peak or to the point. So a measure of central tendency, commonly referred as average, is a single value that represents a data set, not like our graphs or frequency distribution table. It is actually number heavy or information heavy or data heavy in retrospect, because as we look into those data, we can see that there are numerous data, but there is no single measure that should represent or characterize that data. So we have here this measure of central tendency. This video actually will be a two-part or a three-part video wherein we will be uh, staggering the discussion of measures of central tendency. For this video, we will be focusing on one of the most utilized measure of central tendency, which is the mean, or simply the average. So by mean, there are actually different types of means. We have the arithmetic mean, we have the weighted mean, we have the geometric mean, and also we have the combined mean. So basically, that outlines what we're going to discuss today. So first things first, here's the descriptions of other measures of central tendency. So basically, there are three different measures of main uh, categorization of measures of central tendency. So we have there the mean. So that is the part one of this video. And maybe we can compress a median and mode in one video. And for this chapter, we will also include other topics like other types of mean. Like I said earlier, we have the weighted mean, geometric mean, and combined mean. We will also look into mid-range. Also, we will be looking into the effects of changing the units of on mean and median. And lastly, will be I think this will be a part of a next set of discussion wherein we will be talking about types of distribution, the skewness, the kurtosis. We will be looking into that. So, but for today, we will be focusing on the mean, and also we will include weighted mean, geometric mean, and combined mean. Not actually today, but in this video. So let's move into that discussion. So by mean, or what we call arithmetic mean. The arithmetic mean, often called as the mean, is the most frequently used measure of central tendency. So in many study, this is one of the most or most utilized or frequently used measure of central tendency, in which I think there are no study that did not use the mean. So in that, the mean is the only common measure in which all values plays an equal role. Kasi yung iba, when we talk of other central tendency, we will be just looking into the, the data with the highest frequency, the data that is located in the center. And also, the mean is appropriate to determine the central tendency of interval and ratio data. Interval and ratio data, unless for your categorical data in nominal and ordinal level, you assign points for each data, then you can have a mean there. But most of the time, mean is more appropriate for to determine the central tendency of interval and ratio data. So let's move on to the different types of mean. So by two types of mean, we first have these notations. So we have the sample mean and the population mean. So it is for the sample mean, also read as x bar. It is used to represent mean of the sample. That's why it is called sample mean. And for the this one, this letter M that looks like letter U, or also read as mu, is used to represent mean of the population. That's why it is called population mean. Okay, so please take note of this notation. Okay, right. So let's talk first. Let's talk about the properties of the mean first. Daming beses kong sinabi yung first, but anyway, these are the properties of the mean. So first, property of the mean is a data set has only one mean, meaning for each data set, the mean is unique. Mean can be applied in interval and ratio data, as we said earlier. All values in the data set are included in computing the mean, just like we said earlier. And the mean is very useful in comparing two or more data set uh, regardless of having different sizes. For example, Candelaria Campus have lesser students than Santa Cruz Campus, but uh, by using mean to analyze or to compute the interval and ratio data that can be derived from those students, of the students of Candelaria Campus and Santa Cruz Campus, you can actually compare the mean of those campuses. Then, uh, it doesn't matter kung gaano kalaki yung number ng students sa Santa Cruz kaysa sa Candelaria. Okay? So, another thing, mean is affected by extreme small and large values on the data set. For example, if most of your data ranges from 18 to 75, then you got one measurement that is 150. Okay, that 150 can greatly affect your computations of the mean. Also, the mean cannot be computed for data in the frequency distribution with an open-ended class. By open-ended class, these are classes that have, for example, if you have a distribution that have, say, less than 9,000, then you have more than 100,000. So for this type of data, we can actually use the mean. Kasi this is what we call open-ended classes. Okay? You don't know the limit of that less than 9,000. Also, you don't know the limit of that more than 100,000. So mean cannot be applied to those type of open-ended classes. And lastly, mean is most appropriate in symmetrical data. By symmetrical data, these are data that follows a bell-shaped distribution. So we're in the middle part of your distribution is actually the the class or the data that has the highest frequency. Okay, so in that, let's move on to the mean of ungroup data. So, pakitingnan muna yung ating formula. So for the left side here, we have the sample mean, and also for in our right side, we have the population mean. All right. So in here, as you can see here, we have here mean is just equal, or it is just the quotient of the sum of all values over the number of values. And in that, if we are to look into this sample mean, as you can see here, mean or sample mean is just summation. By summation, we just need to add all of the data in a particular observation or measurement, and we just need to divide it by the number of samples. Same with the population mean. We just need to add all of the observations or the value of particular observations of measurement. Then we just need to divide it by the total number of values in the population. So as we can see here, meron tayong example dito. So for example, the daily rates uh, of a sample of 8 employees in GMS Incorporated are 550 pesos, 420 pesos, 560 pesos, 500 pesos, 700 pesos, 670 pesos, 860 pesos, and 480 pesos. That should be find the mean daily rate of employees. Sige nga class, pakitry pong isolve. Pwede nyo i-pause yung video habang sinusolve nyo siya using the formula that we have given earlier, that we just need to divide all of the measurements and all of the measurements, then divide it by the total number of measurements. Okay, now that it's out of the way, by the values of measurement, our values of measurement will actually be the 550, 420, 560, 500, 700, 670, 860, and 480. And for our the number of our samples, it will be 8. As you can see here, if you count these values, at ayun, magiging 8 yung binilang. So basically, you just need to add those values wherein we have there our x1 will be 550, x2 will be 420, x3 will be 560, and so on. And you just need to divide it by n, wherein our n here is 8. So it would look like this. So we have 550, 420, 560, 500, 700 plus 670 plus 860 plus 480 divided by 8. So we have there 4,740 divided by 8, which is equal to 592.50. Hopefully you got the same answer as this. So the sample mean salary of the employees will be 592.50. As easy as that. So that will be our the measurement of our ungroup mean, okay? Or the mean of our ungroup data. So here's another example. You, if you are to find the population mean of ages of 9 middle management employees of certain company, so we have here the ages are 53, 45, 59, 48, 54, 46, 51, 58, and 55. So try to compute for the population mean. Okay. So same scenario, you just need to change the notation that you are using, but the concept or the system of computing is the same. So all you need to do here is just write mu, wherein mu is equal to the summation of all values divided by our population size, which is capital N. So that will be our N here will be 9, and our x's will be 53, 45, 59, 48, 54, 46, 51, 58, 55. You just need to add all of them. So we have here 53 plus 45 plus 59 plus 48 plus 54 plus 46 plus 51 plus 58 plus 55 all over 9. So, if you are to compute that, let me just compute. Pakisabayan na lang ako, class. So, we have here 53 plus 45 plus 59 plus 48 plus 54 plus 46 plus 51 plus 58 plus 55. Hopefully, parehas tayo nakuha. That will be 469 divided by 9. So we have here 52.11. So basically, the population mean of middle management employees is 52.11 years. So that is how we compute for that. Okay? So moving on to the next part of our lecture, we will be looking into the mean of group data. As you can see here, parehas lang, ano, nung kaunti. Almost same with the mean of the group data, ungrouped data. But we just added here our F, as you can see here. We added F wherein F is just the frequency. So basically, this solution means that for the sample mean, we just need to get the sum of all the product of the frequency with their midpoint. So this should be midpoint, and just divide it by the total number of values in the sample. Same with the population mean. So if you have a group data, by group data, it just mean the data is expressed in frequency distribution table. And for the population mean, same concept. You just need to change your notations to mu and capital N, which is the total number of samples. Not samples, it should be population. Sorry about that, class. Okay. So yeah, I have here an example. So, but before our example, we just need to discuss the steps of getting the mean of the group data. First, we need to determine the midpoints. That is, after you have constructed your frequency distribution table, wherein you determine the midpoints of each class limits. You multiply each class frequency to with the corresponding midpoint to obtain the product fx. Then get the sum of those fx, then apply the formula to obtain the value of the sample. So in that, I have here an example. So I forgot to move it to the left, but in any case. So for our this for this frequency distribution, we have here our class limits and our you call this our class limits and that determine the wherein we need to determine the mean of ages of 50 people taking travel tours. So first we need to get the midpoint. This is midpoint. So for the midpoint, we just need to add the following wherein we just need to add the lower limit and the upper limit of our classes. Then after adding them, we just need to divide it by 2. So for example, I have here 18 plus 36. Is that 36? I think that's 26, not 36. Okay. Sorry, typo. So that will be 18 plus 26 divided by 2. So that will be 44 divided by 2. So we have there 22. Again, we got this by simply adding 18 plus 26 and we divide it by 2. So that's why it's 22. So same concept for 27 and 35. So we have here 27 plus 35 divided by 2. So that will be 62 divided by 2. That will be 31. Shortcut, gusto yung shortcut. Ang pwede niyong gawin, pag nakuha niyo na yung first two midpoints, what you can do there is just subtract them to each other. So we have there 31 minus 22. So that will be 9. 9 is actually our class interval here. You just need to add 9 to the prior midpoint. So we have here 31 plus 9. That will be 40. If you want to check, that will be 36 plus 44 divided by 2. That will be 80 divided by 2, which is 40. So, i-apply ko na lang yung sa mga susunod pa. So, we have here 40 plus 9, that will be 49. 49 plus 9, that will be 58. So, 58 plus 9, that will be 67. And 67 plus 9, that will be 76. Okay, check ko lang yung dulo kung nag-jive siya. So, we have there 72 plus 80. So, that is 152. 152 divided by 2, that is 76. Okay, now that you got your midpoints, what we can do here is just multiply the frequency to the midpoint. So, we have here 3 times 22, that will be 66. Okay, then we have there 5 times 31, that should be 155. Tama ba? 31 times 5, 155. Then we have here 40 times 9, that should be 360. I'm not mistaken. Ito, mahirap-hirap na. We have here 49 times 14, that will be 686. Then we have here 58 times 11. So that will be 638. Then we have 67 plus 6. That will be 402. And lastly, we have 76 times 2, which is 152. Tama ba? That is 152. Okay, so just like the step said, we just need to add these numbers to each other. So we have here 66 plus 155 plus 360 plus 360 plus 686 plus 638 plus 402 plus 152. So we have here 2,459. So that will be our summation of f of x. And as you may have remembered, our sample mean is actually just summation of f of x, which is actually this one, divided by n, which is actually this one. Okay? So we have here our 2,459 divided by 50. So that will be 49.80. It just means that the mean of ages of 50 people taking travel tours is 49.18 years of age or years old. Hindi ko na sinulat ng buo class yung ano ha, yung therefore natin. But it is best if you always state your final answer in sentence form. So for the sentence form, the mean, you should just write the mean of ages of 50 people taking travel tours is 59.18 years old. Okay? So, para sa inyo, I have here an example that you can also complete. So, meron kayong pong practice. So, I think I will just leave you this example to answer. Okay? So, for the next part of our discussion, that actually concludes yung sa ating mean of group and ungroup data. So, we will be moving on into the other types of mean. So, ganun lang kabilis yung discussion. So, we have here our weighted mean. So, wherein the weighted mean is particularly useful when various classes or groups contributes different to the total. Ibig lang sabihin ito, yung mga values natin uh, or for a specific type of our data or classification of our data, we have different values. For example, uh, it can be used for sweldo. Let's say sa isang kumpanya or sa isang school na lang para mas alam nyo, meron tayong admin aid, meron tayong mga registrar's aid, library aid, meron tayong instructors, meron tayong mga associate props, meron tayong mga assistant props and professors. So, pag pinag-usapan natin ng sahod ng mga yan, magkakaiba sila ng sahod. What if you want to get the mean ng sahod nila? So, pwede mong gawin, actually, is just to use weighted mean, wherein weighted mean is just found by multiplying each value by value, yung sahod, by its corresponding weight, and dividing the sum of the weight. Divided by the sum of the weight. By weights, ito yung kung ilan yung ilan. Halimbawa, ilan yung aids or ilan yung admin aid, ilan yung library aid, ilan yung instructors, uh, ilan yung associate props, ilan yung assistant prop, at saka yung professors. Then, yung X dito, or yung tinatawag nating value of particular observation, yung X, that will be the sahod. But for start, this can also be useful when we are computing for the mean of questionnaires. By questionnaires, kung maalala nyo, meron kayong mga makikitang questionnaires na merong strongly agree, agree, neither, tapos disagree, strongly disagree. So in that, we can actually assign values for those responses. Wherein, for example, for those five point na scale, pwede mong i-assign yung na value para sa strongly agree will be 5, 4 for agree, 3 for you call this neutral or neither. Then we have 2 for disagree and 1 for strongly disagree. So using weighted mean, you can actually just count the number of responses, kung ilan yung nag-strongly agree, ilan yung nag-disagree, And in that, pwede mong makompute yung tinatawag nating mean ng mga responses nila. So, we can actually also use weighted mean there. So, here are the examples ng mga pinagsasabi ko kanina. So, for example, at Mathematics Department of San Sebastian College, there are 18 instructors, 12 assistant professors, 7 associate professors, and 3 professors. And their monthly salaries are 30,500 for the instructors, 33,700 for assistant professor, 38,600 for associate professor, and for 45,000 for professors, respectively. So, what is the weighted mean salary? So, ganun lang yung titingnan natin. So, kung makikita nyo dyan, we have here our weights. Our weights will be, weight 1 will be 18, weight 2 will be 12, weight 3 will be 7, and weight 4 will be 3. So, how about the x's or the values? Or the values, x1 will be our 30,000, x2 will be 33,700, X3 will be 38,600, and X4 will be 45,000. Again, weight 1 here will be 18, weight 2 will be 12, weight 3 will be 7, and weight 4 will be 3. So, just applying or using the formula that we presented earlier, it would look like this. So we have there our summation of the weights or summation of the products of the weights with their corresponding values divided by the summation of the weights. So we have there, kakano tayo dyan, WX1 times, W1 times W2 plus W2 times X2 and so on hanggang umabot tayo sa X4, and we divide that by the sum of the weights. So this is how it would look like. We have there our weight 1, which is 18, multiplied to x2, which is 30,000, hanggang dun sa ating weight 4, multiplied to the x4. Basically, we have there 33,965. So the mean, or the weighted mean salary is 33,965. As easy as that. So that is one of the examples of our weighted mean. So again, as I said earlier, we can actually use that in descriptive questionnaires, wherein one of the questions have this respondents who answered to the question. So as you can see here, we actually have here our net W. This will be our weights, yung mga yan. So this is W1, W2, W3, and we have here our W4. And for our x's or the values corresponding to the weights, we have here x1, which is 4, x2, which is 3, x3, which is 2, and x4, which is 1. So that is our weights and on the value of our weights. So kung makapapansin nyo, isang question lang to. So usually, ang isang survey ay mayroong sobrang daming questions. So, paulit-ulit itong gagawin wherein you need to multiply the weights to their corresponding values. Then, you need to divide it by the sum of the weights. Okay? So, as you can see here, ito yung magiging ano natin dyan, formula. We just need to plug them in. So, we have there our weights, which is 19 times 4, which is our x1, plus 6, which is our weight 2, times our x2, which is 3, and so on. Then we just need to divide that by the sum of the weights, which are 19 plus 6 plus 5 plus 0. Therefore, we'll be having 3.47. So the weighted mean of for this question or question 1 is 3.47. Okay. So baka nagtataka kayo, sir, paano mo na yan bibigyan ng ano? paano mo na yun bibigyan ng value yung 3.47 na yan? Anong implication niyan? So actually class, doon na tayo ipapasok sa tinatawag na Likert scale. So by Likert scale, we will be needing to identify kung alin ba yung magpo-fall dun sa strongly agree, sa disagree, at saka sa strongly disagree. So in that, you just need to uh, divide i-divide mo lang yung range mo mula 1 hanggang 4. Meaning to say, uh, pwede mong gawin dyan, yung lowest value mo, isubtract mo dun sa highest value mo. So, magkakaroon ka ng 4 uh, minus 1 which is equal to 3. And that 3, i-divide mo siya sa number ng responses which is 4. So, we have there uh, 3 divided by 4 is equals to 0.75. Okay, so that's 0.75. Ano nang meron dyan? Ibig lang sabihin yan from 1 papuntang 1.74. Okay? So actually, this will be equal to our I or interval. This will be equivalent to strongly disagree. And from 1.75 up to what is 1.75 plus 0.75? So we have there 1.75 plus 0.75. So we have there 2.49. Okay. Then, may mali ako pala. So, balik. So mula 1.01 hanggang 1.75 will be strongly disagree. Then from 1.76 up to 2.5, that will be disagree. And for 2.51 hanggang 3.25, that will be agree. And from 3.26 up to 4.0, that will be strongly agree. Eh, not SD, strongly agree. So this will be what we call Likert scale. So in here, kahit na makakuha ka ng weighted mean na in between nung mga usual mong values, halimbawa, 3.47 is in between 3 and 4. Hindi mo naman pwedeng hulaan na sabihin mo agree siya or strongly agree. You need to check for this Likert scale. And since 3.47 falls under 3.26 and 4.0, ang ibig lang sabihin nito, ang value nitong 3.47 is strongly agree. So for question number 1, having this weighted mean of 3.47, we have here a response which is strongly agree. Okay. Hopefully, magamit nyo to in the future kapag kayo mag-conduct ng research regarding kapag kayo nagsisurvey. Okay? And for the next type of mean, we have here our geometric mean. So we actually have two types of geometric means. But for definition first, the geometric mean of a set in positive numbers is defined as the nth root of the product of n numbers. So medyo nakakalito yung ibig niyang sabihin. But basically, pwede kasi tayong kumuha ng tinatawag nating geometric mean in these two scenarios. Wherein, halimbawa, gusto mong kumuha ng percentages, indices, and relatives, itong first formula yung gagamitin mo. Wherein, the geometric mean of those percentages, their indices, or relatives will be equal to the nth root by n. This is the number of those percentages, indices, and relatives. The nth root of the products of all n numbers. Mamaya, papakita natin kung paano yan. Pwede rin naman natin to class na tingnan natin kung ano yung average percent increase in production, sales, business transaction, growth rate ng bacteria, economic series for one period of time to another. Pwede mo ring tingnan dyan, or usually kasi ito ay nag-ano lang sa increase, pero you can alter the geometric mean this formula para makuha mo naman yung percent decrease. But in any case, uh, for this one, pwede mong i-check yung kung ano ba yung increase per year or nung iyong nung iyong percentage. So for example, gusto mong makita kung ano yung pag-increase or ano yung percent ng increase ng global temperature mula ah, mula 2001 hanggang 2020, you can actually use this formula. So, ang gagawin mo lang dyan, you just need to count those years. So, pag sinabi mo 2001 hanggang 2020, that is actually 20 observations because we have 2001, 2002, 2003. If you count that, 20 lahat yan. Okay? So, in that, what you can do there is just get the nth root minus 1 of the value at the end of the period over the value at the start of the period, then you just need to negate 1. So, for examples, masyado nung nakakalula ng ganito yung tinitingnan natin. So, for example, suppose the profits earned by MSS Construction Company on 5 projects were 5, 6, 4, 8, and 10% respectively. Okay? What is the geometric mean of the profit? So as you can see here, we have here 5 projects and they are expressed in percent. So we have there 5%, 6%, 4%, 8%, and 10%. So you can use the first formula here. So wherein you just need to account for the number of the nth. So you then get the nth root of the products of 5 times 6 times 4 times 8 times 10. So, in that, syempre, calcu yung gagamitin nyo rito. Ganito yung magiging itsura niya. Wherein n here will be 5, and our x1 will be 5, x2 will be 6, x3 will be 4, x4 will be 8, and x5 will be 10. Then, you just need to plug that in. So, we have there the fifth root of 5 times 6 times 4 times 8 times 10. So, the geometric mean will be 6.26%. Okay? So the geometric mean of the profits are 6.26%. So yan yung isang gamit ng geometric mean natin. Also, para naman dun sa isang scenario, halimbawa, badminton as a sport grew rapidly in 2015 from January to December 2015. So the number of badminton clubs in Metro Manila increased from 20 to 155. So as you can see here, it is not expressed in percent. So, but pwede mo pa rin gawin yan. So compute the mean monthly percent increase in the number of badmintons. So as you can see here, we just have the starting value and the value at the end of the period. Meaning to say, 24 yung sa January and 155 for December. So, in that, we will be using this formula wherein our geometric mean is equal to the n minus 1 root of the quotient of the value of the end of the period and the value at the start of the period minus 1. So, this n will be 12. The start is 20. End is 155. So, we have here our 12 minus 1 root of 155 over 20 minus 1. So we have here 11th root of 7.75 minus 1, which is actually equal to 0.2046, which is actually equal to 20.46% per month. Meaning to say, badminton clubs are increasing at the rate of almost 0.2046 or 20.46% per month. So that will be the use of our geometric mean. And for the last type of means, we have combined mean. So by combined mean, we are just combining the mean. Yeah, yun na yun. We will just be combining the mean. So by combined mean, it is the grand mean of all values in all groups. So when two or more groups are combined. So basically, like just like our example earlier, when we talk about the means of certain values for PRMSU Candelaria Campus and PRMSU Santa Cruz Campus, we can actually use this combined mean kung meron ng existing na values for the means nung ano natin. Kung baga, ay binigay lang sa atin ay means pero hindi natin alam kung ano yung individual values na nakuha from each student, we can use this method or this combined mean. So in order to compute for the combined mean for a group of means, we must know the sample size of each or the n. So the formula will be this one. Para lang siyang weighted mean kung titingnan nyo. We just need to, for the combined mean, we just need to uh, get the quotient of the summation of all the products of the sample size times its mean divided by the summation of all sample sizes. So we have here wherein sub I bar is actually our sample means. Okay? And ni's will be our sample sizes. So, wala akong example. Okay. Alright. Anyway, hanap tayo. Mhm. Just get an example. Say we have this examples. So we are to compute the average salary of each household in three districts. So by districts, pwede natin gawing purok or barangay. So by barangay, let's have barangay 1, barangay 2, and barangay 3. So, para dun sa incomes ng each barangay, we have here X bar 1. So, for the barangay 1, ang usual earning nila ay 30,400. Wherein dito, ang kinuhang numbers of sample ay say 12. Then for barangay 2, we have an X bar 2. Hindi ka nalagyan ng equal sign. X bar 2 which is say 27,300. Tapos yung number ng household na sinample ay 18. Tapos let's have here X bar 3 will be say mas mayaman 42,500. Then, ang number ng samples natin sa barangay 3 ay 15. So, as you can see here, alam natin yung mga means. Pero hindi natin alam kung ano ba talaga yung salary per household ng 12 na participants nung sa study natin. So, kumbaga, hindi natin alam kung pantay-bantay ba sila ng 30,400 or yung iba nakakaangat, yung iba hindi. Tapos naging ang average lang ay 30,400. Same for Barangay 2 and Barangay 3. So for this scenario, na alam mo lang yung number ng mga samples at alam mo lang yung mean, pwede mo natin gamitin yung combined mean. So kung i-apply natin tong formula na to, ang gagawin lang natin bali dyan is we just need to get the N1. So we have here 12 and we multiplied that to X1 which is 30,400. We just need to add that to the next values here. So we have there 18 multiplied to 27,300, and we need to add 15 multiplied to 42,500. Then we just need to divide that by 12 plus 18 plus 15. Bakit yung mga yan? That will be our ends. This is N1, N2, and we have there our N3. So, pag kinumpute natin to, yung baba actually dito ay 45. Dito ko isulat eh. So, we have here 45. Compute lang. 12 times 30,400. So, class, we have here 1,493,700, which is actually equal to 33,193.33333 and so on, but 33 na lang because we are talking of money. So, the combined mean of salary yung sinabi natin kanina na, uh, three barangays is 33,193.33 pesos. So that is how we compute or how we utilize our combined mean. So in summary class, we already discussed the definition or the concepts regarding central tendency, wherein we talked about the general description or definition of mean. Then we get the mean of ungrouped data. Also get the mean of ungrouped data. Also, we tackled other types of mean, wherein we talked about weighted mean, geometric mean, and combined mean. So in that, I will be ending the video here. You can expect quiz or an activity on our Edmodo class. Thank you and have a great day ahead. Bye.